His business acumen has been amply demonstrated in successful investments in sugar, flour, steel, salt, pasta, real estate, and beverages. He has also conquered the cement manufacturing business. Indeed, his company is Africa's leading integrated cement company, engaged in the manufacture, preparation, importation, packaging, and distribution of cement in Nigeria and 14 other African countries. The current total production capacity in Nigeria from its 3 existing cement plants is 20 to 25 mmtpa. It is also the biggest quoted company in West Africa and the only Nigerian company on the Forbes Global 2000 companies, with almost $14 billion market capitalization in the Nigeria Stock Exchange. Without doubt, therefore, Alhaji Aliko Dangote is success personified.
What gives me joy is how many people have actually helped through job creation, through doing so many things, and in future I want to make sure that Nigeria is self-sufficient in rail lines, in power, in a lot of things.
3 years ago, the Dangote Group, which focuses on provision of local, value-added production and services that meets the needs of the African population, approached the Central Bank of Nigeria to indicate interest to invest in refining crude oil so as to facilitate the production of petrochemicals, fertilizer, and fuel. Today, the Dangote Oil Refinery project, which is valued at $14 billion, is ongoing at the Lekki Free Trade Zone, Lagos State, with a tantalizing target to refine 650,000 barrels of crude oil per day.
The area of the refinery, that is the area of the refinery plot, is 2,135 hectares. It has various process units and then dispatch facilities. It has its own captive power plant, sulfur dispatch facilities. It has a flare unit. It is a self-sufficient refinery that produces the power within the refinery, what is the power consumption required.
This refinery will produce gasoline, diesel, aviation fuel, household kerosene, slurry as raw material for carbon black, as well as 2.8 million metric tons per annum of urea and ammonia. A combined refining capacity of Nigeria's 3 refineries comprising Port Harcourt, Kaduna, and Warri is put at 445,000 barrels per day. In the recent past, it has produced about 6 million liters daily for premium Moto spirit. When completed, this refinery will refine 650,000 barrels per day with yields of 55.2 million liters of PMS, 3.4 million liters of diesel, the high-end Euro 5, and 8.8 million liters of aviation jet fuel daily. At 55.2 million liters of PMS, Nigeria's daily consumption of 40 million liters is already taken care of. Before now, Nigeria was a paradox, being one of the world's largest producers and exporters of crude oil, and yet one of the biggest importers of refined product. Trillions of naira is spent every year in subsidy claims for oil marketers, not to talk of immeasurable man-hours lost each time there is real or artificial scarcity of fuel. But now, the first of its kind integrated oil refinery project will resolve this paradox with its longest single train refinery in the world.
In Dangote Group, we like challenging things and we like to make sure that we do things where we'll make our country proud and also self-sufficient. So once we do this, Nigeria will never ever import any oil at all. No petroleum products, zero. We'll meet up the full capacity, and we've taken up a land that will allow us to grow 3 times. So we have plans of also further growth. But the challenges, I think, will be able to surmount most of them because, number one, we're a local domesticated refinery. Most of the logistics cost will not be there. And then we don't have to pile up a lot of petroleum products, in stock because the refinery is there, it's working. Obviously, yes, maybe we'll have about 15, 20 days of reserves.
After months of work on site, the dredging has covered a major portion, although heavy-duty work is ongoing. The activities and spillover have also been well thought out, and a smooth supply and distribution system is what will be obtained here. This is the setting that prompted the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, to pay an impromptu visit to the Lekki site of the world's biggest refinery project.
Is gas and
No.
So we're going to the refinery.
Crude were loaded by ship, but when they are inside the sea, they call them SPMs. Okay, so you discharge, and also you can load 100% of the product through the sea. So we have 3 for loading products and 2 for taking crude, and also pack loading.
The visit, which was like the gathering of eagles, afforded the CBN helmsman the opportunity to jaw with Africa's greatest entrepreneur of all times on the critical need for a foreign exchange portfolio that will aid the importation of critically needed equipment.
Interest charges, handling charges, which we pay foreign companies, demurrage. So all this is because, for example, now if he needs maybe now he'll go and buy 1 chip.
That's what he does.
He'll go and buy 35,000 tons. He doesn't have to buy. He will just say, okay, finally, every day give me 3,000 tons.
Okay, so you don't need all the storage, all the other shit.
His bank will issue us SBLC. And every day, supply at the end of the month. We even give him credit at the end of the month. So we too, we create also with our own bankers will now be paying on our behalf to NNPC for so all the transactions, instead of being avoided, yes, so the banks will make money instead of taking the business out there. Shipping companies will not collect also those $30,000 per ton.
That they do when they don't come up.
Which now, because Central Bank will open LC, those guys, they will collect their own.
And that's 26 naira per liter.
And that's 26
naira per liter.
You can see this one is how they come.
It's a precast driven pipe.
It's a precast, everything has to go down.
can see this is the whole site, and this is the fertilizer.
Okay, this is just the fertilizer area.
So now
Wow.
this is the whole site. And this is the plot plan. You can see how the tank farms are coming, the various equipments are coming right all over the place.
Apparently elated by the noble and patriotic vision that gave birth to the Dangote oil refinery project, as well as the infectious commitment of the investors towards the success of this ambitious enterprise, the governor of the central bank said, "Your ongoing $14 billion refinery investment will enjoy our support, no doubt. We are doing this to fast-track the importation of equipment you need for a speedy completion of that project and to encourage other Nigerians to follow suit. This tour is necessary to lend our support to this laudable project that will transform Nigeria's downstream oil sector."
About 2.5 to 3 years ago, he actually came to the banks. At that time, I was an operator. And he said he wanted to go into fertilizer, petrochemical, as well as refinery business. We started with the fertilizer side of it. But today, these three projects are being, we're costing them at almost about $14 billion, out of which he is contributing 50%. $14 billion, about 2.8 trillion naira. And I think we must congratulate a man like Aliko Dangote for this very laudable. Why have I come here? I have come here to see, and then so I can also tell Nigerians that we need more. We need to support and give support to people like Aliko Dangote for what they are doing for Nigeria. This is a time when we are talking about diversifying our economy away from oil. Fertilizer, the output from fertilizer is ammonia and urea. The output from the petrochemical is polypropylene and polyethylene. The output from the refinery are the various final products for the petroleum products. These are products that we today import into the country. If we dimension how much the country spends on the importation of these products today into Nigeria, consuming foreign exchange, this stands at close to almost about 35 to 40% of our import needs. So you can imagine what would happen to the savings in foreign exchange by the time the fertilizer is completed in 2017 and by the time the petrochemical and refinery project is completed during the early part of 2018. We expect that by the time these projects are completed, we will not only it will not only meet the needs of our domestic requirements, but by the time it is completed, he will be exporting these products to the point where he will be selling foreign exchange to Nigeria, to Nigerians, and to Central Bank of Nigeria to the tune of almost about $6 billion a year. That is the kind of project that we think we should support. And we think we need to encourage more Nigerians to begin to think like Alhaji Aliko Dangote.
Look at it, the industrialization, once you go through the pain, then it pays.
The
But the
benefits
pain is heavy, yeah, because you can see bush, from this bush, you now enter, after you knock up everything, you get special, these are boogies, they go there with the chain.
You can float in the water. And either you can float in the water.
If you float on water, uproot all these trees, then you burn them. After you burn them, now you clear them out, then now you put sand.
Compact,
Yes.
and then piling.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know the sand they charge you per cubic feet. It's not that they don't know the measure. There's a measure. You and them will be measured. Like now, if we exceed that,
Who is charging you?
The people who
Who are some?
okay. It's not that they just come and fill everything.
No, right?
No.
No.
This you don't know. They are the biggest in the world.
I told you now from Belgium. Those who brought the number 1 and number 2 they just the whole and the number 5 too.
We are not seeing the bills because we are not coming for FX.
No, don't come for that.
We cornered two key officials of the Dangote Group to have a grasp of the driving force behind this incredible investment in sub-Saharan Africa.
The timing of this project could not be better, coming with a new government who clearly have come with a message that Nigerians all have to wake up to a reality check. We could no longer afford to be an import-dependent economy, and that anyway the resources are not there, and Nigerians have to tighten their belt, and everybody have to go back to the basics, back to agriculture, back to manufacturing. So I believe that it's not surprising that the governor of Central Bank himself was there, because he obviously, this is what he wants to see more Nigerians doing to make his job easier. At the moment, everybody is on his neck for foreign exchange. So he would very happy to see investments that are going to conserve our foreign exchange by reducing our imports. In fact, and ultimately, investments that will begin to make it possible to repatriate foreign exchange back into our economy.
This is really going to be a boon to the country. The Nigerian crude is a sweet light crude, which has always been commanding a premium in the past. But one of the reasons why the oil prices have been going down is Saudi Arabia wanted to ensure that they retain the market share, because the Americans, especially the shale oil, they have been developing it very fast. Their shale oil production and output has been increasing fast. And all the oil which comes out of that is shale gas and what they call an LTO, light tight oil, which is also very light, and it's a sweet crude. And if you see the exports from Nigeria to US, it has completely collapsed. It was one of our biggest markets. Now the export to US has collapsed, and the country has been even struggling to get importers for the light oil. The US has a lot of refineries designed to handle light oil. In most of the other parts of the world, to maximize the profits, they started going for heavier, dirtier, high sulfur crude, because they were all available cheap. So the refineries were designed to handle that so they could maximize the profits. So now when our primary market collapsed, we have been struggling to get enough demand to export this crude. And that is why if you see the Nigerian crude, even the prices have been coming down. So we are looking for a market now instead of commanding a premium, and for our commodity, which is the oil, and we are still continuing to import the finished product. So this refinery will answer all the problems.
Skills, market focus, management orientation will clearly differentiate Dangote Refinery from the pack.
We recognize that in every situation where there are opportunities, there will be challenges. Our goal is to say, can we address and sort of circumvent or clear and deal with these challenges? And government policy is one area of challenge. If the policies are not right, you're going to have problems. But these are risks of the business that we're willing to take. But we expect that in the investment game, it's a question of weighing your risks and your rewards. We believe that despite the poor policy environment, we are willing to risk this investment because we believe that the rewards that come afterwards will be more than sufficient to justify the risk we're taking.
The growth potential and trajectory impact is immeasurable. Everyone is waiting. The whole state, Lagos, is also positioning itself to be a part of history.
He has chosen this day to do his activities, and it's for us as a government to make sure, I will give him all the support you can get. But what is very important is that Dangote is not going into upstream exploration in Lagos. Rather, it's in refinery and petrochemical. That's substantially midstream and downstream. Yeah, we're not competing. What Ibile will be doing is to go and look for the gas and bring it from under the soil so that we can service Dangote in the long run. So Dangote's intervention alone is going to change the entire economy of the Lagos East, as we see it today. And you see, if you now combine that with the activities going on inside the free trade zone, the proposed airport and the deep sea port, is going to end up in a massive transformation of that sector. But that is not only the benefit that Lagos will get. You see, if you see the impact of tank farms in Apapa with respect to all the trailers coming from all over the nation and, you know, massing inside the Apapa, it has almost collapsed the economy of Apapa. And that is not going to be sustained. And that is happening because we are bringing all the petroleum products that we're using in the country from outside. So if Dangote can produce from here, then there will be no motivation to keep building more tank farms in Apapa. And I think what I see is a lot of them will now be fading away gradually, and then you see our economy coming back again. So for us, it's going to be multiple benefits to the states in terms of income, in terms of GDP, in terms of employment, in terms of helping us to resolve the Apapa economic challenge, in terms of traffic. Because the architecture there, as it's going on now, a lot of impact assessments are being tidied up with respect to transportation impact assessment, environmental impact assessment, because we don't want what happened in Apapa to also happen in Ibejuleke on account of Dangote's activities. And mind you, that place is not within town. So if there are vehicles coming in to take the products and take to other parts of the country, you just pass along the Ekpe corridor, and then you are in Ogun State, and you can go to Ore, you can go to the northern part of Nigeria. Unlike if you were in Apapa, you still have to pass through the Lagos Island, the Lagos mainland, Oshodi, until you get out of town.
The impact of the Dangote oil refinery project on the Nigerian economy will be both massive and monumental.
Well, the impact will be heavy, you know, to start with. First of all, there won't be any shortage anymore. And then, you know, money will not be tied down. You don't have to go and import 3-4 months stock, because, you know, we have the refinery is working. We have massive storage, you know, which I think it is, you know, it will, assist in the supply chain. There's something that which people don't normally, you know, if you go around, most of outside Lagos or Ogun, majority of the filling stations, you see that yes, there's filling station, but there's no activity. You know, actually, I didn't know this until when we were driving in Kaduna with Bill Gates in January, and he said that this is the only country that he has seen filling station that is not working. You know, you see that yes, there is a filling station, there are people there, but no fuel. This will not happen. Anybody who opens a filling station will have something to sell. So can you imagine the thousands of filling stations that we have? Even if there are only 5 people each, it's massive number of jobs that will create, because we'll make the product available. You don't have to buy what you don't need. You only buy when you need it. So it is going to open the market dramatically. You know, I mean, the economic activities that we're going to create will be enormous. And then you have the polypropylene, polyethylene, then you have aviation fuel, you have kerosene, you have, a bit of low-fuel oil, you have gasoline, which is PMS, and then you have diesel. And the AGO that you're going to have is not the normal one that we're importing today. The one we're importing today is Euro 3. But we are starting from what is just been introduced today in Europe, which is Euro 5. It's the highest high end. So all these vehicles that are, buying bad diesel, putting into their vehicles, having a knocked engine, it's just not going to happen. So it will create a lot of economic value. Let me give you an example. During construction alone, we are going to have 42,000 workers at least. So it's an enormous, giant stride that we're making. I mean, we're investing in one single location now. It's going to get up to about $14 billion. The refinery, the petrochemical, the fertilizer. And then Lagos will really become an industrial hub, because what we are investing, if you add the entire industries in Nigeria, they are not up to what we are putting up there. So it's a massive expansion. I mean, you look at the size of the land. The size of our land there is 5 times the Eco-Atlantic. 5 times. So it's huge.
Never before has a single individual company employed hundreds of thousands of people directly or indirectly. Never before has one single investment affected the economy, not only of a nation, but more so the economy of a continent like this. Millions of families across Africa will depend not only on this refinery, but also on hundreds of companies that will hook up to this octopus. In December 2017, the Dangote oil refinery project will come on stream. May God keep us all alive to see that beautiful day.